Welcome to our live stream. Where is my hat? I just realized. Oh, I think I put it back on the shelf. Anyway, so welcome. Last time I wore a hat because I don't really like my hair. It is becoming a mess. But anyway, sorry for being 2 minutes late. Well, 4 minutes late because I was we try to start at 6:58. So 2 minutes late of starting the show. I was ready to go early. It's just I was too early ready to go. So, as far as setting things up, I thought, okay, I'm going to go talk to someone for a minute. My conversation with them ended up taking way too long. Um, and that's what causes me to be a few minutes late now. I was looking at the clock after talking to them, and I'm like, okay, I got to get downstairs. It's 6:55. I cannot set up in 3 minutes. I need 10 minutes to set up. So anyway, you need to pull up two Disney Plus tabs, by the way, and here's why. What we're about to watch is a double length episode, and so we don't want credits or recaps to play. And so, in order to prevent that from happening, here's what I'm asking everyone to do: go to, obviously go to Disney Plus, season 7, episodes 7 and 8, and on one tab, go to episode 7, push play. We're gonna watch the previously on Once Upon a Time stuff. So yeah, make sure you don't play a single second. But for episode 8, kind of want to jump over the recap. Because it's supposed to be one long episode. It should be 43 minutes and 55 seconds if you push if the episode 43 minutes and 55 seconds. I might try to pause it and give you guys a few seconds if you're watching it from a physical media perspective. Hang on, and then we're gonna push episode 8. Make sure you have it at 43 minutes and 25 seconds. So, just to skip the recap and jump right in, right? So anyway, so for episode 7, 43 minutes and 55 seconds. And then for episode 8, 43 minutes and 25 seconds. If it doesn't say that, that's because I skipped over the previously part for episode 8. We're going to get started. I'm a little worried about Facebook right now. It is not working. So we are having technical difficulties with Facebook. Whenever Facebook messes up, it messes up our YouTube content because I don't like starting without Facebook. Anyway, let's try this again. I was watching so I told you I watch first time reactors sometimes. I was watching a first time reactor react to Once Upon a Time season 4 for the first time, and they're on the Queens of Darkness arc, and I was watching their video and I paused it to and I guess I forgot I was watching that. Well, it's too late now. I got to do my marathon. I'll have to finish it later. But anyway, I'm like, I never been on my phone in a while, and I forgot. I guess I forgot I was watching someone's video, and I didn't finish it. Too late now. We might not get a Facebook live stream tonight because it's not working. Might have to go without Facebook tonight, which is a bummer. I hate to do this. We'd never gone without Facebook before. Everyone on YouTube's probably like, what's going on? Are we going to watch the show? I give up. Anyway, well, good luck, Facebook. I guess Facebook's not getting the live stream tonight. We're just going to have to go without Facebook tonight. So yes, let's get started with Once Upon a Time. All right, everybody on YouTube. Ready? 43 minutes. Oh, wait. Hang on. 43. I was on the wrong episode because I told you to pull up both. Anyway, 43 minutes and 55 seconds for episode 7. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So remember, Ivy is awake. She knows that she's Gisela. She's the one who actually cast. She's the one. We still don't know who cast the curse yet, but she's the one who's actually in charge, not her mother. Oh, hey, it's the wish ram hook. hmm So anyway, Ivy's awake and woke Regina up, and we're gonna get a little bit of why the curse can't be broken. Anyway, Captain Hook, Captain Hook is our wish ram hook, remember? And the tales of Captain Hook were the same until Regina's curse was never cast. Is when the tales parted ways, and this is why this is not our Captain Hook that fell in love with Emma Swan, right? Anyway, so now we know how Snow and Charming defeated the evil queen. They stole her magic. That was not explained in season 6. They stole her magic. No wonder it was easy to defeat her. Mhm. Of course we have a deal. Well, it's probably good that the curse was never casted because, again, this is a different world created by a wish, and the real world is just one version of the real world. So if she were to cast the curse and trap everyone in Storybrooke, man, they would be contradictory to our original characters who are not from the wish realm. That would be contradictory. So everyone has to stay in the fairy tale. Hmm. Hook is determined to find this Eloise Gardner since the beginning of the season. Wow. And there's a picture of a garden in the Seattle title sequence. By the way, I know we're not gonna see Storybrooke tonight, but I wore my Storybrooke shirt. Remember when we started the season, I forgot to wear it. This is to make up for that. 'Cause we saw Storybrooke the last few Thursdays, and at least once, when Belle came back for an episode, and then Emma, and then Henry leaving town. Anyway, Storybrooke, we're done with the Storybrooke references. We're completely in Seattle now, but I thought I would just wear it possibly one more time. Anyway, so Henry and Jacinda are working on their food truck, and they want to celebrate, fixing it. They also want to go on a date, and Henry's going to ask her out. To be fair, you're already married. The curse is just separating you 2. Jacinda said yes. Henry and Jacinda are on a date. Hmm. Yep. I mean, to be fair, Drizella did back Regina into a corner, and she's kind of having no choice but to play the villain card. It's kind of sad. Lucy being a 10-year-old girl standing up to her step grandmother, Victoria Belfry. Or as some of you know her, Lady Tremaine from Cinderella. Hmm. Well, we know who Victoria's talking about. Someone else is there to help free her, and it's her own daughter. Like Drizella's the real one in charge of this town, just making you think you're in. She just likes to make her mother think she's in charge. Honestly, Elias Gardner is not who Hook's looking for. We're gonna find out who Hook is looking for tonight. He's looking for his daughter, which is not Eloise Gardner. Hook is cursed and doesn't know that Officer Rogers doesn't know he has a daughter, but Hook does, and the curse put it to where he's supposed to be looking for this girl. But it isn't Eloise Gardner that she's supposed to look for. I'm about to sneeze. Hang on. Okay. I was gonna say, um, looks like Henry is going to join Officer Rogers in finding this Eloise Gardner. Oh, it's Rapunzel's tower, the exact replica from the Disney movie. That tower's exactly the same replica as the Disney version. Honestly, so see how Hook, similar to Flynn Rider, is climbing up the tower? There's a big lump before you get into the window. And so it's like, how did you climb over that? Like literally, how do you climb over that? That would be difficult. Ooh. It's Rapunzel! She looks exactly like the Disney version too. She has the blonde hair, everything. The only difference is she's wearing a pink dress instead of a purple dress. Do you remember last time we had Rapunzel in Once Upon a Time? It was in season 3. Charming went to save her from the Wicked Witch. She was African American and she had black long hair. That was not the Disney version. That was Once Upon a Time's own version of Tangled. Anyway, that was a one episode and done thing. However, with this reboot and having another version of Cinderella comes with another version of Rapunzel. So, Mhm. So again, one with a reboot and all that, they're thinking they could redo the Tangled story and go by the Disney version a little bit. So anyway, well, yeah, she has the frying pan and everything, and the only person that's not gonna be in Once Upon a Time is Flynn Rider, because Hook is already replacing that character. Like I said, remember Rump is also the Beast. Characters could be multiple characters from multiple Disney movies. And this Captain Hook is not married to Emma, so who knows? Maybe she falls in love with a Rapunzel. Mhm. Well, Alice is one of Rumpel's close employees, and Alice is good at finding things. Oh boy. Huh. Looks like Victoria is on to her daughter a little bit. Hmm. There's a little bit of mud on Rosella's shoes. Hmm. Wow. I don't think we want anything that happened to Officer Rogers on Victoria's count. So hopefully Weaver can, or Rumpel can, because he's awake. Why are we still calling them by their first names? Rumble, Rumpel, we were Rumple, same thing. Rumpel, will have to try to stop Hook on his own. According to Rapunzel, you have to sing to find the flower. You need rum? I don't know. I don't know about that. Looks like you woken up a giant troll. Run! It's too big. You can't kill it. The flower! Flower, gleam and glow. Let your power shine. Make the clock reverse. Bring back what once was mine. Except this one doesn't make you younger like Joffrey did in Rapunzel. This one can trap you in a tower for good. Hmm. Oh, Victoria kind of figured it out. She knows Ivy has been controlling the witch. Yep, plot twist. Drozella's always been awake. She was never asleep. Ronnie was asleep until Ivy woke her up. Weaver was asleep until Alice woke him up. Victoria, I mean, Victoria's kind of asleep. She thinks she's in charge. Um, and then Ivy's always been awake. She's never been asleep. She just gave herself a name. Ivy's a good name, honestly. Hmm. With you, she's gonna try to take everything this witch has from Drizella. Mm-hmm. Threatening the witch, I see. I know, nice picture of Regina and Henry. And now that Regina's awake, she can look at the picture, remember how little Henry used to be. Good old days. Hmm. So see, look how hard Regina has to do. She has to, in a nice way, without being evil on it, without being as evil as Victoria Belfry. She's in a nice way trying to push Jacinda away from Henry. When really she's the one who's been trying to get them together all along. When she was Ronnie before she woke up from the curse. She didn't she was upset when Henry was dating Ivy, and she's like, that's a wrong mistake. Why don't you go ask Jacinda on a date, right? Well, luckily, Jacinda doesn't know about that. Jacinda doesn't know that she wanted them together at all, and so it doesn't make it hard to just all of a sudden not put them together. But at the same time, if Henry were to find out that Ronnie was separating them, he would be confused. I'm like, weren't you the one who begged me to ask her out on a date? That could have caused a bunch of problems. But anyway, man, she was trying to play matchmaker, and then she woke up and decided that couldn't. Imagine you worked so hard getting two people together, and then you have to separate them because one will die if they love kiss. Like, honestly, that must be hard. Henry, speaking of which, is with Hook trying to find Eloise Gardner. Well, you know, it's weird because if it weren't for fairy tale characters being a part of this, if everyone wasn't cursed and this was their actual life, you would think, why is Hook looking after some weird stranger named Eloise? Like, he feels like he's connected, like they're family, but just because you feel like you're family to someone doesn't mean you're family. Family means you know them and you hung out with them. And so, anyway, but because we, luckily, thanks to the curse, we know Hook has a lost daughter, and he's been trying to look for her, and the curse decided to implement that into this. Obviously, he doesn't think Eloise is his daughter, but it's in a way looking for someone that he thinks he loves. I don't know. When I watched this on its first run, it was confusing, but anyway, you know, the curse is trying to mix his finding for his daughter with just the finding of an Eloise character. So, well, yeah, it was kind of. Anyway, well, somehow he cares about this girl like she's family, and it's heartbreaking to find out she died, and they can't identify her body. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, Miss Rapunzel's a little creepy. Flower, gleaming glow, flower. Ronnie. Regina always joking about herself. It is sucked. You just found out that Eloise Gardner is dead, and you helping Hook on a case, and man, you were expecting Hook to find her, and she's dead. Hang out next weekend. That's a great idea. Hmm. Yeah. It looks like Ronnie. Looks like Regina did very well at convincing Jacinda in a nice way to break up the date with Henry. And yeah, I mean, she's almost as manipulative as Victoria Belfry. Victoria Belfry's rude about it, but you know, Ronnie kind of pushes it. And anyway, manipulation is manipulation, whether you're doing it nicely or meanly. It's like she's playing again, trying to play the villain card when she doesn't want to. Where Regina feels bad of her son not being able to go out with Jacinda. Mhm. I mean, Rogers is a good detective, sometimes better than Weaver. Rumple, you really failed at keeping him away from Eloise Gardner. Oh well, it was bad. And no, it's not who you're looking for. Eloise Gardner is not who you're looking for. It's your daughter. When you wake up from the curse, you'll realize it's your daughter that you're looking for. And Eloise Gardner is not your daughter. Anyway. Hmm. Less you know, the better. I mean, Ivy. Oh, poor. Yeah. Well, Drusella's the one in charge, so I mean, even if Victoria goes to jail, doesn't defeat the villain. Oh my goodness, Hook and Rapunzel. Looks like Rapunzel got a baby. Huh. Yeah, where's Rapunzel? Where's the real Rapunzel? Gothel imposed her at this whole time with the fake blonde hair and pink dress. Man, where's the real Rapunzel? We're gonna get the real Rapunzel tonight. Like I said, it's mostly a Rapunzel tangled night. We got fake Rapunzel. Once we take a trip to Wonderland, we'll come back and find out who the real Rapunzel is. So after the 2 hour special, we'll watch our episode after the movie's over. It's gonna be who the real Rapunzel is. Hmm. Shall we? Don't look at me like that. I mean, he was a pirate on a quest for revenge until you tricked him into pregnancy. Now he cares about the child more than his revenge. That's actually a good redemption arc for Hook. Too bad he didn't learn that. Too bad other Hook didn't learn that with Emma. I mean, he did, but he didn't learn. He didn't learn from having a child from Rapunzel. Anyway, whatever. What I said probably didn't make sense. So Hook's gonna watch the baby, and because he cares more about the child than his revenge. Our Captain Hook, you know, took loving Emma to give up on revenge. This one just took a child. So apparently, so remember the magic that sped the Wicked Witch's pregnancy, and it only lasted like a few weeks instead of 9 months. Do you also remember? Let me think. Do you also remember? I no, Snow White's pregnancy wasn't sped. It was normal 9 months. I think there was Belle's. Belle's was sped up to only be like a month or two. So you know. Anyway, the evil queen sped her pregnancy. Anyway, because in Once Upon a Time you can speed up women pregnancies, that's what happened. Hook and Rapunzel had some sex, sex, and Rapunzel tricked Hook into getting her pregnant, and they sped the full 9 months in just a matter of one night, like literally, like honestly. Looks like Officer Rogers went through hard lengths to because he found out Eloise wasn't dead when he spilled alcohol onto the page that she drew. And so when after finding out she wasn't dead, it wasn't long before he actually found her, walked away, and it turns out to be the witch. Man, and it's the witch. Uh, 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 um, Officer Rogers thinks he found Eloise Garner, but little does he know it's an evil witch working for Victoria and Ivy, or Drusilla and Tremaine, honestly. Anyway. Child. A love for a child and being a parent is more important than revenge, Regina. And then obviously I can guess what happens next. Regina runs in the forest. The statue of Snow and Charming. That's where they defeat the evil queen. They catch her in the forest. They destroy her once and for all. That's kind of sad. I wouldn't want to be that evil queen. I'd want to be the one who went to Storybrooke and survived and got a redemption arc. So Hook chose being a father over revenge on Rumpelstiltskin. That's a nice baby. Plot twist. So we found out that the witch is Gothel, and we found out his daughter is Alice. See? So now we could say, without spoiling, that Hook is really searching for is Alice. He thinks he's searching for Eloise Garner. That's the person he loves and possibly thinks is his daughter when it's actually Alice, and the curse just wants to trick you. That'd be funny. That's never happened, not even in the first curse. Yes, you are tricked into a marriage that never happened, but like with Catherine and David, but like you've never been tricked with the wrong child before. Anyway, Ouch. And he doesn't know he just told Alice, "You're not the person I thought you were. I'm disappointed that you lied to me about Eloise's death. You're not funny." Anyway, um, yeah, so he broke Alice's heart. Little does he know that that's his real daughter, and he broke her heart. Like, if only he knew how that was his daughter and how he just treated her. Anyway. Victoria's going to jail because they accuse because she got caught in the act, and technically they're not wrong. She is accused for locking a lady up, but she is an evil witch that needs to be locked up. Let's be honest. So she shouldn't. But luckily, because this is a curse and we don't believe in fairy tales, right? In the real world, kind of thing. They're accusing her of kidnapping a young woman, and so yes, I guess you can go to jail for kidnapping an adult just as well as also a child, but Eloise Gardner is not a child. Anyway, so Victoria is no longer in charge or of Seattle anymore. She's no longer like the person in charge who's, renting the entire city. She's now going to jail for her crimes, and we've already been plot twisted before that Ivy Drizella is the one in charge, and she only made it to she only pretended to make her mother in charge, and now she's on top of the pyramid and kicked her mother down. So Drizella is now over the town, and she has her villainous plan, and she's smiling as she watches her mother go to jail. No, that's not something you do if your mother was going to jail. You don't smile. She wanted revenge on her mother, remember? Because her mother never treated her like a daughter, right? And put her love for Anastasia above Drizella. So that made Gisela want to get revenge. And this is a wonderful way to get revenge on your own mother, but in the real world. Now that Victoria, aka Lady Tremaine, is now in jail, she has no custody over Lucy, so Jacinta can get her daughter back. Unfortunately, Drizella has plans of her own. She called child services and convinced them that there was a reason why Belfry had custody, and they needed to study the case before they could hand over the custody papers to Jacinda. And so since Jacinda can't have her daughter, since Jacinda can't have custody, yeah, exactly what child services just said. Um, you know, Lucy was given to Victoria Belfry for a reason, and until they can review the case, she has to go into the system. Lucy has to go into the system. Lucy is going to to the adoption center, and she can't be with her real mother until they can review why she was given custody to her grandmother. Anyway, so yes, unfortunately, as much as Jacinda was so excited, okay, it's playing credits, and I promise we weren't going to talk in between. Oh, whoa, okay, boo, okay. Um, so as I was saying though, before we push play, as I was saying, um, for a second, just when you thought the grandmother went to jail and lost custody, you thought Jacinda could finally get her daughter back, but nope. Unfortunately, child services got in the way, and they don't trust Jacinda to be a good mother yet, and so this is not good. So now, in the second half of this movie, Jacinda is gonna have to fight very hard to get her kid back. So anyway, we're gonna watch some child custody arrangements. Okay. Anyway, all right. Sorry. We're gonna 43 minutes and 25 seconds. It probably doesn't say that because you didn't skip the recap. Fast forward, skip the recap. Let's see. Right when I push play, it should show just Cinderella and Henry fighting in a flashback, sword fighting. So you got to pause right before that sword fighting starts. 43 minutes and 25 seconds. 3, 2, 1, now. I just realized when we started watching this movie, I forgot to give you a countdown, so I'm sorry. If I didn't, I should have said 3, 2, 1. But anyway, sorry. So if you weren't in sync with me now you can be in sync because I said 3, 2, 1. But anyway, sorry. It's just been a rough week so far. And with my birthday, it definitely has been exhausting. Happy birthday to me! I'm now 24. This is technically considered my birthday episode. No risk, no reward. If we were still on Sundays, we would have watched these episodes the day before my birthday. My birthday was on Monday. It was fun. We did also have a party last Saturday, and, we played a Back to the Future musical Kahoot that I made, and a musical quiz, and then we watched Back in Time, which is a documentary on Back to the Future. I'm a fan of Back to the Future as much as I am a fan of Once Upon a Time, so, anyway. Yeah. It's funny because most people associate Alice from Wonderland, but this Alice has been to other places too, and she's like, "Why do people keep saying I'm from Wonderland? I'm from other places, hello?" Yeah. Whoa! Their hearts were poisoned, remember? Man, luckily Regina has magic, he can try to heal Hook's heart, but it looks like his heart gets damaged and runs out anytime Alice comes near him. Their hearts are poisoned. Alice jumps to Wonderland. We did not jump to the portal, jump through the portal. No risk, no reward, right? Henry, if you want to fall in love with Cinderella, you got to jump after her. No risk, no reward. Once upon a time, we are in Wonderland. Look at all those mushrooms in Seattle. Seattle with mushrooms, with Wonderland mushrooms. Good title sequence. So yes, now Jacinda's gonna fight to get her child back from child services. Hmm. I know. Grandma's in jail. She has no more custody. Why can't she be with her mother? I mean, we are used to people not being fit parents in the show. Talk about Regina. Well, poor Eloise Garner, she's guilty as charged. She's not innocent either. She's an evil witch. We found out she was Gothel. Anyway, Giselle is just trying to play an act. She's pretending that her mother really did kidnap an innocent woman, and anyway, she knows that she's an evil witch. It's kind of funny. Ivy is playing the fall in love Henry card. She pretends to be interested in him. Try, she pretends to be interested in Henry. When really, we saw in flashback as Gisela, she is not interested in Henry at all, and she wants to get revenge on her mother, even if it means hurting Henry along the way. but she's acting so opposite in love with him. Hate Henry, love Henry. Okay. She's a wild card, Drizella is. It was sad, honestly, trying to blow off, Jacinda and Henry the other night. Man, you didn't want to. You would have loved having them on a date if it didn't mean ruin Henry, if it didn't mean killing Henry. Honestly, that was probably hard. Swing away, swing your bat and hit her with a bat. Hit Gisela with a bat. This is all her fault. She poisoned Henry. Finish the interview. Anyway, how heartbreaking. Man, Regina's finding it very hard to keep Jacinda and Henry apart, and she really doesn't want to keep them apart. Officer Rogers completed the Eloise Gardner case, and all the police departments congratulating him. Officer Rogers doesn't care what you say, Rumple. And if only the curse was broken and he knew. For my birthday, I got some treats and a bunch of snacks and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, no one's one-time gifts yet. I still have some coming through the mail from my parents, so I still have some late birthday presents that are way overdue that are coming. My laptop's about to die. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. I plugged it in. There we go. As I was saying, um, so nothing important to show, nothing what's one time related, but I might eat some snacks because I am hungry. Just trying to figure out what to eat. I've already ate a bunch of them. I got chips behind my camera, but not salsa. Got a giant kiss here. C5 fun. Giant candy kiss. Got this. I got a bunch of snacks here. A lot of Hershey's. Hershey's are my favorite. Junior mints, popcorn that's not cooked. Anyway, and Lucy. Yep, I mean Nick's the lawyer that's gonna get Lucy out of child services. Lucy's dad, yes. We know Henry is the real dad that that belongs to Lucy. But the curse did the same thing as Catherine and Nolan here, where Jacinda was cursed married to Nick, and then they divorced, but Nick is technically the cursed father. Wow, that's not what you expect from a divorced dad, huh? Mm. So Henry and Ella are in Wonderland now. No risk, no reward. Oh, look, we're playing Snow White and Charming here. Henry and Ella just got trapped in a net, just like Snow and Charming did back when they were falling in love. I mean, you weren't there, Ella. You should see how Snow and Charming fell in love. Honestly. Oh, come on. I can't even poke a hole through this juice box. Ugh, there we go. Hmm. Wow. Well, it looks like Henry used his. It looks like Ella stole Henry's sword to cut themselves out of the neck. They shared true lips kiss just to get out of that net. Countless times. Yep, Ella has the opposite story. Great character development there. You have a character from the 6 seasons that involves another couple who always find each other, and then you introduce a new character who never finds the people they love ever. The opposite of Snow and Charming. Honestly, whoa! I was trying to scoot my chair back, and I pushed it a little too hard. I almost fell back. Mm, really? No one wants to be the Catherine. That is true. That's obviously a metaphor. There's no slaying dragons in this episode. But Nick's already trying to get custody over Lucy. So what can Henry do? The infinite maze. We have a similar one just like that. Hmm. So plot twist. In the real Cinderella story, Cinderella had a mother and a father. Mother died, father remarried. Then the stepmother killed the father, and that led stepmothers to stepsisters, right? Anyway, here Ella lost her father and her mother before they got remarried. Um, so anyway, her mother died, then her father, then her no, no, yeah, no, Ella's father died first. Then her mother remarried. She got a stepfather. The mother died, and the stepfather married a stepmother. So, so that's a plot twist. Cinderella lost. Cinderella lost two dads instead of one. Hmm. Ella ate the mushroom. Remember the mushroom that makes you smaller, and the other makes you bigger in Wonderland? Ella shrunk herself so she can go through the infinite maze. Wow. Linda looks hot. Hmm. Well, looks like Jacinda has feelings for Nick. When you guys were never actually really married to begin with, it was just a cursed life. Looks like Officer Rogers is about to eat the cake Eloise gave her. Mhm. Yeah, make things right with that Tilly. After all, she is your daughter, even if you don't realize it yet. You might want to make amends, at least be friends, because if you're at opposite odds and the curse breaks, I don't know if she'll forgive you. Ronnie, you could go to jail for that. You're messing with a police officer? That's not funny. I mean, she knows that's poison. I mean, Gothel technically wanted to try to wake him up and eat the cake, and I think that had some memory potion in it, but Ronnie was like, "Nope, nope, I'm gonna throw this in the trash." Sorry. Mhm. What do you expect in this realm? Exactly. If you were out here doing this, you'd be locked in a loony bin. The plot twist: um, Gothel and Victoria were originally going to bring back Anastasia, but now that she's in jail, turns out Drizella also wanted Anastasia to be come back because she needs to take back what's hers. So plot twist, plot twist. It looks like Giselle had the same plan her mother did, only she made her mother feel like she was in charge until she went to jail. And Lady Tremaine found out Giselle was awake all along. So, Nick is actually not a bad father. Even though he's not supposed to be Lucy's father, Nick is actually, really good. He was not really bad. He was just living in his parents' basement and not really, taking his life seriously, so, but then he changed. He's kind of a good person, but they, just ended up probably divorcing for other reasons. But it's all just a curse. She never really even fell in love with him to begin with, actually. They're not gonna give up on getting Lucy back from child services. The infamous net maze. Oh, it's the Mad Hatter Tea Party. A very merry birthday to you. That's Star Wars backpack. What? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, look, it's the necklace she had. The curse of the wounded heart. That's a plot twist. She does deserve tears after all. Cinderella's mother left to protect them. I know. I mean, Alice is new to this world. Like literally, when she appeared in Ella and Henry's romantic moment, she said, "I thought I told you to go home." She hasn't been seen since the ball that Henry fell in love with Ella, and so Alice does not has no clue what's going on in this season. She's been out of the picture a lot in flashbacks, and so she didn't know Drizella was untrustworthy and didn't know she was an evil stepsister. Just like the evil stepmother, Lady Tremaine. She probably knew about her, but didn't know her daughters were evil too. So she accidentally trusted Drizella on finding a cure, and Drizella tricked her and ended up poisoning Hook more and almost killed him. Almost Drizella wanted Hook to die. So Gisella's trying to do the same thing. The curse of the wounded heart that causes Hook and Alice to not be together. Same with Alice. Same with Ella's parents. Well, it looks like Gisela wants to do that to Henry and Ella. Obviously, it didn't work because they get married and have Lucy. Sabine and Henry haven't got haven't been around each other very long, so it's just they barely know each other. He fixed their truck and he's giving Jacinda back the keys. Oh, Henry is disappointed. Jacinda's gonna go after him and talk to him. Hey, Nick is not here to fall back in love with Jacinda. He's just here to push papers, as he said. Yep, true love's kiss can break any curse. Eh. Well, what about a dream catcher? You can use a dream catcher. That's broke the curse before. She's gone. Alice got revenge back. Alice got her revenge back on Drusilla for tricking her. And through a looking glass, which is another way to get to Wonderland, through the looking glass right on Drusilla, and she went right through. She's gone. She's back in the fairy, new enchanted forest. They're glowing. Ella's willing to take a risk for true love. Well, it looks like as much as Drusilla was trying to poison Henry's heart, it didn't work. She probably didn't finish the spell because Alice intervened and knocked the looking glass on her. It was nice to know Henry's heart didn't get poisoned in the flashback, but something got him poisoned later on. Yeah, she signed away her parental rights. It's bad. She couldn't stand up to her stepmother, causing her to lose custody. Victoria did say she would lose Lucy completely. I mean, she could have risked it. Yeah, you guys have the same taste for music. No wonder Henry liked it. Mm-hmm. It is weird between you two. Henry can't date Jacinda right now. She's too busy using Nick to get Lucy back. Mhm. No, he did not sleep 100 years. I mean, you are married. You were married to Belle. You're awake. Stop lying to Regina. You are both awake. Let's acknowledge that you're both awake. Hmm. Rumple is still playing the act like he doesn't know who Bill is, apparently. Ah, Rumple, you're losing an opportunity. Evil Queen and Rumpelstiltskin, best team up we've ever had. They teamed up as villains and they teamed up as heroes. Yeah, and Rumple doesn't want to be a team player though. He's pretending to he's pretending to be cursed when he's not cursed anymore. After all, it technically wasn't Alice that woke him up anyway. It was technically Rumple's spirit from heaven in a daydream. Luckily, Drusilla didn't poison Henry's heart. At least not yet. If you're wondering where this flashback takes place in the timeline, it's obviously when Henry is falling in love with Ella, but before Lucy, before the curse and all that. It takes place almost right after they defeat Lady Tremaine, who was trying to take over the kingdom. And that's the White Knight that Hook gave her before her and Alice separated. Man. Oh man, nothing like a father and a child. Too bad they can't be together. Yeah. Now we gotta listen to this. Listen to this. Look, this is when Nick shows up. Here's who Nick is in flashback. You ready? We know Nick as a real world person, but who's his fairy tale persona? It's all a joke. Nick didn't ruin Henry's life. They're playing the Star Wars reference. Well, there's a lot of Star Wars quotes in Once Upon a Time, and what's funny is that they're about to hit their 50th anniversary next year. See, this is why I think we should have gone more seasons here because you introduce us to these new characters just before cancellation, and we don't get enough with them. This is why people hate season 7 a lot. I think we just don't have enough time with these new characters. We never got a flashback of Henry and Jack in Agrabah, or them going to uh, uh, or climbing the beanstalk to face giants. We could, right before meeting Cinderella, like literally, we could have saw a flashback of that in season 8. There's so many flashbacks that didn't get put that that because there was only one season we didn't get to see that we needed a season 8 and season 9 for this. Honestly, don't start a reboot if obviously they didn't know the show was going to be canceled till halfway through the season, but it was honestly a bad idea to start a reboot right at. Well, kind of, not really. Well, it looks like Nick got the custody battle, so happy ending for Jacinda and Lucy. Yeah. I mean, technically Lucy is not Henry's dad. I mean Lucy's dad. Ugh! Henry is Lucy's dad. Nick is not Lucy's dad. But, in the curse wants to make it so, and, he did fight for her custody, so happy ending. Oh, we haven't seen Victoria. We haven't seen Lady Tremaine at all in this episode. She's still in jail, honestly. We've been too focused on Henry and Ella and, Regina and Rumple. Wow. I liked how Henry said that. It's great. Regina doesn't wanna tell Henry that he's cursed and that fairy tales are real. But the way she gets around it is that, not only Jacinda and Henry are stuck, but, like, but like everyone in who's cursed is stuck in a false life they can't control. And Victoria is trying to push fairy tale characters out so that real people can come in. And so anyway, there's someone she pushed out a long time ago, and that was the Wicked Witch. And honestly, again, another flashback we could have gotten was the first days of this curse. Like they don't even give us a year. They don't even give us a year jump of how long they've been cursed. And I mean, we do find out later in the season, that at least Lucy was able to grow up a little bit before the curse. But when everyone's cursed, they don't age. So that doesn't define. I used to think when I watched this for the first time, the curse was only like a year long, depending on people's ages. But then I remembered season one, it stopped time. So you can't really know how long they've been cursed, honestly, unless they tell you. And Once Upon a Time told us 28 years on the first curse. Honestly, we could have used this second season to figure out how long they've been cursed. The first days in Seattle would have been nice to see. Mhm. Well, anyway, looks like Hook made amends with that silly, and can't wait to break the curse so they can know their father and daughter. Because Hook has no idea he's talking to his daughter. They did not go to California; they went to San Francisco. Storybrooke was technically mentioned when Regina was trying to talk to Rumple and to team up, and she had no other options because Rumple refused to be a team player. Um, She's gonna go find someone outside who got kicked out of Hyper and Heights a long time ago. It's a character we all know and love. So stay tuned for that. But she mentions how she couldn't go to Storybrooke for help. They can't know they're here and we can't and we can't get there and they can't know we're here. That's what she said. I'm eating my dinner. Sorry, guys. It's time to wake up Anastasia. Here we go. She's gone. Someone took her body. Who stole her body? Anastasia. Giselle's sister is gone. Well, that wraps up that episode. That was a long movie. We went from Hook climbing in a tower and giving becoming a father, right? Right. Sexing with Gothel, who disguises as Rapunzel. We're about to find out what happened to the real Rapunzel, but before we watch that episode, the movie covered a lot. We found out that Hooks is the father of Alice. We found out, that the witch hiding in the tower is Gothel. This is where we'll talk in between really quick. We also found out that, Eloise Gardner, the person Hook's looking for, was actually Mother Gothel. And if only he knew if only he knew he was supposed to be looking for his daughter Alice. Anyway, and then we found out in the second half that Alice, the reason why Hook and Alice can't be reunited is because they got put under the curse of the wounded heart. Which means if they ever touch or make love contact, it kills Captain Hook. So Alice and Hook can't be together. They poison their hearts, so they can't be together. They can't love each other, and they have to be separated. And Gisela tried to do the same thing to Henry, but luckily it didn't work. That doesn't mean it will work in the future. That doesn't mean it won't work in the future, though. So again, you'll have to stay tuned. Because Victoria was in jail didn't mean Jacinda had rights to her daughter. So she had to fight the rights by getting Lucy's fake father, Nick, to, pretty much fight the custody battle. Anyway, so now Jacinda and Lucy are living happily ever after. And I know we didn't really, in that second half, we didn't see Victoria very much. Anyway, and yeah, and then being frustrated that Nick is back into Jacinda's life, Henry is heartbroken and getting drunk. So Regina, who's awake and Henry's not. Henry doesn't know that he's talking to his mother, but Regina knows she's talking to her son. She decides to take Henry on a road trip because because Gothel's out of the tower and she's up to mischief, and obviously no one believes in fairy tales, so no one will believe Regina when she says that Eloise Gardner is dangerous. And Rumple refuses to be a team player, unfortunately, as well. So Regina's out of options, and she has to go find a friend in San Francisco. So her and Henry are on a road trip, and they both need a break from Hyper and Heights. They need a break from Jacinda. They need a break from all the crap that's going on in Seattle. And so anyway, they're taking a road trip. I'm taking a road trip tomorrow. So guess what? Next week we're going to be in Hollywood. So while they're in San Francisco, we're going to be in Hollywood. Anyway, so I'm taking a road trip as well. Anyway, so yes, a lot has happened in these two episodes. And, yeah, and then we found out that Nick's fairy tale name is Jack in the Beanstalk. And again, it looks like they were in Henry and Jack. Well, Jack was from Agrabah, and Henry and Jack were climbing a beanstalk right before Henry fell in love with Cinderella. Right before Henry crashed Cinderella's carriage in season 1, episode 1. I mean, season 7, episode 1. So wow, how things set up. But we didn't get a flashback of Jack and Henry's, fun adventure, unfortunately. But it's okay. We will get what we get. At least by the end of season 7. we may not get all the answers to the puzzle, but we'll get enough for you to understand by the time the curse breaks, everything that went on. Even if some things are brushed over by dialogue, the rules are show don't tell. They shouldn't tell us what happened before Henry met Cinderella. They should tell us. They should show us like they did in the first 6 seasons. Like honestly, we needed more seasons with these new characters, and I'm kind of sad that it's only going to be one season because we are in the final stretch. But anyway, we're going to start the next episode. What a movie that was. But because we watch 3 episodes a week, we're going to watch one more episode. Lady Tremaine surprises backstory is revealed. Okay, so we're gonna get a backstory of Lady Tremaine, her sisters, her stepdaughter. We're gonna get the whole Cinderella vibes. All right, except for her going to the ball because we already got that. But we're gonna get the whole what happened between who died and stuff. Anyway, because we kind of got a little hint of that. We found out that that Cinderella had two fathers, a biological father and a stepfather, not just two mothers. So that's a plot twist that's not in the original Cinderella fairy tale. Anyway, we're gonna find all this out, and it's another Rapunzel centered episode. So I bet you're wondering if this is Rapunzel focused, then how is it focused on Lady Tremaine? Well, you're about to find out. Okay, we're gonna start that episode right now. Episode 9. Here we go. So this is 43 minutes and 52 seconds. Just so you know, and we're all gonna push play. It's called Season 7, Episode 9, One Little Tear. Remember a shocking truth that can shatter Lucy's beliefs. She's gonna cry. Something so bad's gonna happen that she's gonna lose her belief in fairy tales. We're gonna watch this all unfold. So bring a tissue because this one could be sad. Um, anyway, it ends on a very sad note as well. So that's kind of a sad way to end the night. But oh well. We're gonna watch this episode. So bring your tissues, especially for the end. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, now. Previously on Once Upon a Time. I dug up someone. Perfectly reserved, exactly. Yep. This was number Drizella stood up to. Oh look, it's the last I see the lights. And it's like the fog has lifted. See, there's the light from the Disney movie. You know this is the Rapunzel story. But anyway, but yeah, you saw, Drizella standing up for her mother, and that's what made her in charge in the first place. She stood up to her mother and defeated her. Mhm. There's Gothel. Be careful. And we've seen this with Rumple. I'll do anything. I'll do anything. 'Cause all magic comes with a price. Don't say anything, because that literally means anything. All these characters make mistakes when they say, "I'll do anything to get them back," blah, blah, blah. My goodness. So, it looks like Lady Tremaine was once taking care of her daughters and was trying to find, Lady Tremaine was trying to take care of her daughters and was trying to find food because they didn't have food. They haven't had food for 2 days, and they're dying. She, she found, she found, food, alright, but it was Gothel's garden, and she stole without permission, and so she was willing to pay the price so that her family could have food, and, the price, was trapping her in a tower just like Rapunzel's tower. Wow, Lady Tremaine really needed help from her family who never came to find her. Gothel locked her in a tower in punishment for stealing her garden food. Wow, what a mean mother Rapunzel. I mean, what a mean mother Drizella. What a mean mother Lady Tremaine is. Yeah, uh, Lady Tremaine will always find a way to reunite her family. Mhm, mhm. Well, Jacinda may not have Henry in her life, but she can have her. She has her daughter at least. That's happily ever after for me. Mm. It was kind of funny. I liked how Lady Tremaine said, "This will not get enough votes." Like Giselle likes holding on to mother figures, and Lady Tremaine likes holding on to like your daughters." And I'm like, "What? What about your real daughter?" "Yeah." I'm like, "Did someone not get enough hugs?" She's a mean mother. Mhm. Exactly. That dagger you can't seem to get rid of is something that Rumple cares about. Yeah, how's this fish for the Guardian going? Lady Tremaine knows that Rumple's awake. They met in the hospital. He revealed it to her. Plot twist, Lady Tremaine is Rapunzel. That's how this is a Rapunzel-centered episode, despite it being focused on Cinderella's stepfamily. It's Rapunzel-centered episode. So Rapunzel stole from the garden, locked in a tower in the process, and has counted her days since she got trapped, and was begging her daughters and husband to come save her. It's the lanterns that only appear on her birthday, but it's not from the king and queen of Corona. It's from Anastasia and Drizella in the new enchanted forest. And look, Rapunzel has grown her hair since she got trapped in the tower. She can use the hair to get out. She's gonna cut the hair, throw it down like a rope. Yep, she's gonna get back to her family and escape. Hook is gonna. Cat Officer Rogers is upset that Weaver Rumpelstiltskin let Victoria Belfry out of jail. Ah, he's gonna dig it up to figure out what he's doing. They have to run some errands, honestly. And Lucy's happy when she's with her mother, not her grandmother. Mhm. Well, I mean, that's kind of nice coming from Rapunzel. I mean, she's trying to make up for all the bullying she did to Jacinda by giving her custody to Lucy out of jail. At least, she can keep Lucy now, Jacinda. It does feel different. I mean, your mother's right behind you. They followed the lanterns all the She followed the lanterns all the way to your house. Anastasia and Drizella. Looks like Marcus is finds out his wife's alive. He's already remarried. I mean, Marcus thought you were dead, so he moved on and married someone else. Poor Rapunzel. Rapunzel, I am Anastasia and Drizella's mother. I mean, I guess Gothel did promise they would thrive and live in poverty, but she didn't promise he would stay single until escaped the tower. Moved on. Now we all thought he was going to play Flynn Rider, but nope, apparently not. Disney's Rapunzel never fell in love with Flynn Rider. It was someone else. Yep, because you were so evil. Since Rapunzel was so evil and being an evil stepmother, and she made choices, and now she's going to have to deal with her daughter's choices. No wonder Rapunzel hates Drizella and favors her Anastasia daughter over Drizella because Drizella was, she's the younger stepsister, and she was too young to remember her biological mother, so she's not attached to her, and that makes Rapunzel upset and makes her want to love Anastasia more. So no wonder. I mean, Rapunzel sacrificed her own life to save her family. I mean, that's what any hero would do. What caused her to go evil? And so does Ella and Cecilia. Yep. They you love them as much as you do their girls, and so it's like it's hard. You have to choose. You can't be married to both women. Who are you gonna choose, Cecilia or Rapunzel? Marcus. Oh man. Wow, you were able to sacrifice yourself for everyone's happiness, and now you have a choice to sacrifice someone else's happiness for yours. Is that's the mushroom that poisoned Alice and Hook, and it's the same mushroom that could poison Henry and Ella later on. And that's the mushroom that Rapunzel might use to separate Ella's parents. Whoa. She tried to burn the mushroom, but Gothel had another one. And so, yep, you can't get rid of the mushroom. There's your temptation. Are you going to poison Cecilia or are you? We all know what ends up happening, but because of present day event. But like honestly, you could have chosen not to poison Cecilia and try to share custody over the daughters. I mean, seriously. It looks like Nick and Jacinda shared a kiss. So, I mean, I don't think there's hope for Henry yet because Ella's falling back in love with Nick. Or Jacinda is. She's not awake yet. It's Henry's mixtape. You're gonna give it to Henry, but he's gone. Wow. Hook is spying in Rumple's thing. He pulled the fire alarm so he could break into Rumple's office. Oh, he found his hook. If only Rogers could remember who he was, he would know that's his. He's like, what does he have a hook for? He's breaking into files. He has one on Officer Rogers. He has a file case on Officer Rogers. How funny. Oh, and Sabine. Anyway, yeah, what is Rumple doing, honestly, with everyone's file? Is everyone a criminal? Hook is coming. Officer Rogers is coming to talk to Sabine. They're joking about balls and royal princess dance parties. Yeah, I mean, you can't describe what the dagger looks like. You have to kind of draw it. I mean, I have the dagger. Don't know where it is at the moment. Oh, it's right here, actually. I threw all my Once Upon a Time stuff on the floor after I showed you guys. Remember the Excalibur? Here's the other half. Um, I can't find the other half, but talking about the other end of this, the dagger that's sliced in half. Anyway, they are being followed. Officer Rogers and Drizella are spying on you. Oh, and there is a Rapunzel's purse. Mhm. I mean, that's kind of rude from a mother saying that she's never loved her daughter since she was 4 and that she doesn't treat her like one. It's kind of sad, honestly. Poor Rapunzel. I mean, you should listen to Rumpel's advice. You should try to make amends with your daughter Drusilla before you wake up Anastasia. Yeah, you should be celebrating with your daughters. Why are you working, Rapunzel? Like a maid in the household. You know Rapunzel does kind of have a similarity to Cinderella. I mean, she has the blonde hair and she's acting like a maid, and Cecilia's trying to convince her not to act like one. Cecilia's a better mother than Rapunzel ends up being. It looks like Rapunzel's going for desperate measures to poison Cecilia. Mhm. It's kind of funny. Rumpel kind of knew they were following them, and so he let Rapunzel go, and Rumpel stayed behind to catch Drizella and Gothel walking under. I mean, Gothel does not have a child, and everyone calls her Mother Gothel. I mean, besides Alice, she doesn't have a child. I mean, why does everyone call her Mother Gothel? You're no mother to them. I mean, she has a lot of names. She went from Rapunzel to Lady Germain, and then Victoria Belfry and the Curse. She has a lot of driver licenses. Plot twist. You have any idea where your great granddaughter is? She's at school about to leave. It's the Once Upon a Time book. The one that Henry used to have in the first six seasons, not the big second white copy. Lucy has the white copy, but she doesn't have the brown book. She has the book. And finally, we're getting cameos back from the other seasons. Lady Tremaine is about to share some fairy tale truth with Lucy. Wonder what's going to happen. So the reason why her name's Lady Tremaine is because of Marco's last name. So it's technically Rapunzel Tremaine. She didn't change her name. It's like, different. You poisoned my grandmother, basically. Don't Lucy, you just call her grandmother. You poisoned my grandmother? Yes, she died. Don't lie, Rapunzel. Even yeah, wow. So again, she poisoned Cecilia's heart. This is why she left and went to Wonderland and died in the hands of a Jabberwocky. We learned this from the last episode. But when Marcus came back to be with Rapunzel, and after they welcomed Ella into the family, after they welcomed Ella into the family, this happened. They're all playing on a winter stormy day, and they're on top of a lake, which the ice is not thin enough to carry their weight. This is dangerous. Well, there goes Anastasia and Gisela. Oh no, it's Anastasia and Ella. Gisela did not fall on the ice. He'll get both of them. You should have grabbed Anastasia. Uh huh. That did not make Rapunzel happy. So fairy tales are real, but happy endings are not aren't. Lucy's watching Jacinda and Nick kiss. Wow, Rapunzel, you're so mean. You're saying you're a hero because you want to save Anastasia. Well, you're doing it in all the wrong ways. That's the definition of hero and villain. But once upon a time's good at giving us flaws. You know that even heroes make mistakes, and well, even Rapunzel became a villain. Henry's out of town. He's in San Francisco. Lucy's barely getting the news, and finding out that Henry left. Her favorite father left. She lost belief in everything. She believed in fairy tales, but anyway, her happy ending is crushed, knowing that Henry's out of town and just end up moved on to Nick, who the youth who she thinks is her father, but it's not. Nick is just a false father created by the curse. Oh man, Lucy's heartbroken. Thanks a lot, Rapunzel. Evil Rapunzel. She's going way too far and bringing Anastasia back to life. Rapunzel knows where that tower is. She'll do whatever it takes to get her daughter out of that tower. Wow. Wow! When Rapunzel turned on the tables. So it wasn't a punishment, it was a test. Rapunzel was trapped in the tower and, to be tested to see if she'll do anything to to be happy, and the guardian that Rumple needs to return to Belle. Anyway, Gothel's trying to look for that guardian too, and she thought Rapunzel could be the guardian, but obviously the guardian has to be pure in heart, and being pure in heart doesn't mean sacrificing an innocent to save your own child. And so Rapunzel, because she was willing to poison Ella's mother, she's not pure in heart. But maybe Anastasia is, because she was willing to sacrifice her life to save Ella. And so, trapping Anastasia in the tower, giving her the same test to see if she can be the guardian. Rapunzel wasn't going to let that happen, and her one idea was to scale it brick by brick, and unfortunately that wouldn't work because this time there was a protection spell, and we learned that from the protection spell, only someone in your bloodline can free that person from their prison. So Rapunzel would have to sacrifice her lot, and she would have to trap herself in the tower again if she wants to save Anastasia. Anyway, but luckily Anastasia didn't get trapped in the tower because before Gothel could trap Anastasia in the tower to give her the same test, Rapunzel stole her magic and trapped Rapunzel instead. And then we know Hook finds her later, disguised as Rapunzel, and they have Alice. And Hook becomes Alice's daughter and or Alice's father. And so anyway, so that it all comes together now, right? We know the real story of Rapunzel. We know how the fake Rapunzel came to be, and that's about it. And Officer Rogers is mad at Rumple for being so secretive and letting Victoria Belfry go. Lucy ran away after she saw Anastasia in the hospital. She's heartbroken that happy endings are, because Rapunzel convinced her that happy endings are not real. She just saw her mother fall in love with the wrong father, and she saw she saw and she saw through Rapunzel's experience of losing her daughter that happy endings aren't as possible as she thought. Because welcome to the real world where happy endings aren't easy. Anyway, Lucy's in heartbroken after what Rapunzel did, and she walks home after a long runaway night and trades her life for Anastasia. Wow. Ella comes home wondering why her daughter is so upset and doesn't even know what Rapunzel did to her. So, but she took Lucy's belief and Lucy's sad tear to bring Anastasia back, and so yeah. It's kind of funny. Drizella wanted to wake Anastasia up, but apparently, Rapunzel got to her first. Haha. Oh, look at Drizella in the other room. Man, she's so upset. Anastasia's looking right at you. Anyway, yep, Drizella's so upset because her mother is too loving of Anastasia and doesn't love her daughters equally. But that's not all, because Lucy literally unknowingly gave up her life to bring Anastasia back. Lucy is now in a coma and she's dead. Whoa, whoa, okay, we're done. No more episodes. It's already gonna. I forgot to exit before when it was playing the credits. Anyway, okay, we're done. No more. I don't know why it's playing the next episode, but we'll watch that next week. Anyway, so yes, so Lucy, so we're in the same situation Henry was. Remember in season 1 when Henry ate the apple turnover and went into a coma, and Emma did everything she could, even slaying a real dragon, not metaphorically, real dragon to wake Henry up. Remember all that from season 1? Well, it's kind of the same setup. Lucy does not eat any poison turnover, but it's a life for a life. Do you remember the candle that Snow almost used to get her mother back by killing another person? Remember how she used it on Rumpel? She saved Rumpel by killing Cora. Anyway, the candle's not being used, but the same magic is. They're using a magic from Lucy's sad tear to bring Anastasia back. But anytime someone comes back from the dead in Once Upon a Time, it's a life for a life. Life for life. All magic comes with a price, and they bring someone back, another must die. So yes, so Lucy, well, she's not completely dead. She's just in a coma. But the same thing as Henry. Lucy's on her deathbed and dying, and Anastasia's alive. So yes, and obviously True Love's kiss will break the curse and Lucy can wake up. But if True Love's kiss breaks the curse, then Henry will die. So anyway, because Drizella was way smart about this, made her curse hero proof. If True Love's kiss were to ever break the curse, people others love will die. The people you love will die. So it's kind of a hard predicament because now that Lucy's in a coma, she can't wake up unless the curse breaks, and yet the curse can't break because something bad will happen to other people she loves. Luckily, these fairy tale scenarios are not real, and they're not going to happen. But even a world scenario, it would be rare to have to choose one child over the other. If two children were falling off a cliff and you could only save one, what would you do? Anyway, that wraps up our tonight's episodes of Once Upon a Time. Now, before I sign off and end this live stream, I just have to conclude by saying this. Next week, it's an explosive winter finale. We have Anastasia, who's a potential guardian for Rumpelstiltskin, who's possibly going to help him reunite with Belle. We have Lucy in a coma, and they're going to try to wake her up. On the winter finale of Once Upon a Time, someone wicked returns. The Wicked Witch of the West. We had Belle and Emma. Now guess who's coming back to guest star? The Wicked Witch from seasons 1 through 6 is coming back. And then, the story is not over yet. A chilling conflict between dark magic, and the War of the Witches will begin. Gothel and her witch coven. And so there's a lot of things going on. But, someone's also trying to kill the witches. So there's a lot going to go on. I'm spoiling way too much. But anyway, be ready because it's about to be very more impactful next week. Man, we're almost halfway. That is crazy. Halfway through season 7 means we're only a half a season away from finishing the show. Whoa. Not exactly halfway. We got to get through another episode or two. I'm very sorry for people on Facebook that didn't get my live stream tonight. There was something wrong with Facebook. I just don't know what's going on. But anyway, we're going to call it an end to this live stream. I'm also going to cut out the first few minutes. All right. God be with you till we meet again. And until next week, bye, y'all.